Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Steve shook over Aria hint Kristen's second opportunity for Brady. Days of Our Lives uncovers that Sloan Peterson Brady called Eric Brady to request that one expect him home for supper, yet Eric couldn't return at this time since he needed to visit Teresa Donovan. After Eric offered data on Holly Jonas' new seizure, Sloan felt much guiltier for taking Jude Brady since Nicole could lose her other youngster. When she hung up with Eric on episode, Sloan gathered Melinda Trask and said they expected to give Nicole's child back. Melinda immediately shut down that thought since the two of them could wind up in jail, particularly since E.J. DiMera was the head prosecutor and would condemn them. Sloan whined pretty much all the pressure and referenced Leo Unmistakable's extortion as well as Nicole seizing Jude momentarily. After Sloan conceded she covered for Nicole, some portion of her wished she'd paid attention to her gut feelings and let Nicole face the outcomes. Sloan just concealed reality on the grounds that Eric needed her to. Melinda behaved like Sloan not be feeling frustrated about Nicole assuming that was the situation. In spite of the fact that what befell Holly was unfortunate, it wasn't Sloan's issue and had nothing to do with Jude. At Alex Kiriaki's loft, Eric made an appearance to see Teresa and got Alex's consolation that it was acceptable for him to come by. Teresa contemplated whether Eric was there to censure her for being a horrible parent, yet he was really there to give her an embrace, a few direction and Caroline Brady's rosary globules. Eric did not attribute Holly's misfortune to Tate Black or Teresa. This was unfortunate all around, so Eric thought everybody was harming and merited sympathy. When Eric made it home on DOOL show, he intruded on Melinda and Sloan's discussion. Sloan guaranteed Melinda was simply visiting her godson, so Eric was astonished over Sloan giving her the adoptive parent title. Nonetheless, Sloan called attention to that without Melinda, they wouldn't have their son and cheerful family. On out, Melinda advised Sloan to recall what they discussed and lied about it being baby-proofing. Eric could perceive that Sloan appeared to be not quite right, however, she figured out how to make light of things once they were separated from everyone else. Back with Alex, he was shocked to find Teresa imploring when he brought her a sandwich from the kitchen. Despite the fact that Teresa wasn't the encapsulation of a decent Catholic, her confidence was as yet essential to her. Alex was cool with that and cozied up close to Teresa, who pulled back over his endeavor at a kiss. Alex apologized for not having read the room and reassured Teresa that he wanted to be there for her emotionally when she became enraged and asked him what he was doing. Alex figured out how to move the temperament back in support of himself, so Teresa was contacted and cuddled near him. At the condo on episode, Marlena Evans got refreshes from Brady Dark on how seriously things went for Tate before. Brady demanded he was the most terrible dad on earth before Kristen DiMera showed up to shoot him for missing his book time with Rachel Dark, Finley Rose Slater, who cried on the grounds that Daddy stood her up. Brady apologized for failing to remember he should meet Rachel an hour prior and said he could make sense of, so Kristen snapped that he would be wise to have a damn valid justification. When Marlena left, Brady gave Kristen the report about Tate being in prison following Holly's excess. Brady also said that Tate wasn't guilty, but EJ had a grudge against him and was making Tate pay for what happened to Holly anyway. Kristen was raised to speed on Tate's bail being denied and the way that he was being attempted as a grown-up. Kristen regretted not having been informed of this while Rachel was out of town. Kristen guaranteed Brady that she'd clarify everything for Rachel and concurred he could get an opportunity to make it dependent upon her. All things considered, in the event that Brady let Rachel down once more, Kristen cautioned he'd need to pay. Brady felt that was the genuine Kristen emerging and ended up messed around with her a piece. After Kristen discussed Christmas, she proposed to allow Brady to see a charming video she made of Rachel moving. Brady conceded he needed something beyond recordings and said he expected to see his girl. As Brady separated and destroys over letting his children again and again, Kristen demanded he'd get past this and would show up for Rachel as well as Tate. Brady cried as Kristen embraced him, so the exes shared a delicate second on Tuesday's Days episode. In Constantine Meliani's lodging, he glanced through a few old pics and did some digging on his PC. Constantine obviously thought he perceived John Dark as a face from an earlier time, however he needed to do more research. At the bar, John complained to Steve Johnson about Tate's trial before Constantine strolled through the entryway. That prompted Steve and John reminding Constantine that he expected to leave town. Constantine would not go anyplace enthusiastically, so he recommended John and Steve would need to capture him once more or wipe him off the guide. John said he would call the ISA and send Constantine to a deserted island, but Constantine said it would be lovely and bring back memories of his villa in Aria. Constantine tried to hint at something nearby after Steve's apparent reaction to Aria and mentioned that flash of recognition. In any case, Steve shut down the discussion and cautioned that Constantine could either leave all alone or get effectively banished. Politeness of the ISA. When Marlena showed up and thought about what was happening, Constantine attempted to turn on the appeal and at last headed out the entryway. Constantine could see Steve had a response to Aria, so he stopped briefly outside and appeared to be satisfied about being doing great. Everett bothers Harris with his consuming inquiries. Days of Our Lives bother Everett sleuthing May before long drive Harris up the wall. Tune in and watch the show unfurl. Highlights from Days of Our Lives. Everett is a little too serious about his job as an investigative reporter. Not set in stone to tear the medication case completely open, however to do that, he wants intel and subtleties. As a result, he traps Harris and starts asking him questions. However, will Harris reply? Although he has spoken with the reporter, this does not imply that he is willing to compromise the case. Understand this, figure out what occurred on Days of Our Lives. Everett ought to perhaps be concerned about covering his own tracks. Two of his exes are visiting the area and it's inevitable before Stephanie and Jada acknowledge they were with a similar man. Will that day come today? The ladies are getting up to speed. Will the subject of past darlings come up? Overreacted guardians. In the interim, Brady and Teresa are frightened when they at last look at their harmed child. Unfortunate Tate, James Martin Mann, is simply a high schooler attempting to make it, encompassed by risky guilty parties. It appears as though that is an exercise in futility at this moment. With respect to his casualty, Holly's condition stays quite awful, as well. Nicole has been by her girl's side the entire time and EJ at long last inspires her to have some time off. Will she lament passing on the medical clinic to re-energize? Abe and Paulina can spend some quality time together while you watch A Slow Road to Love. Abe may not recollect being hitched to her, yet he sure likes his better half a ton. Will this round of holding bring any old recollections back? Indeed, even a little snapshot of memory would sure make Paulina's entire day. In the event that you are behind on Days of Our Lives, let Cleanser Center Point assist with getting you up on all the most recent Salem happenings. Each weekend, we distribute the week-by-week update that tells you the greatest things that went down and assists you with understanding where the show is presently. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.